Alright everyone, thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. I have a nice, messy, but informative situation here. So just in case you did not check out the video where I stated that I would be incorporating more of my music / audio type of gear onto the channel where I'm just usually sharing tool stuff. But anyway, so that's occurring, and so I was able to take some of these cases and outfit them for some of the gear. So now I'm actually taking the Milwaukee cases and outfitting them for some of the gear, and in particular is two devices like this. One is a rhythm performer and the other one is a mixer, but the parameters, they're exactly the same. They look very similar. And yeah, so it's two of these. Now these boxes were purchased earlier last year for a mobile situation to store tools and go in and out of a enclosed trailer, but that particular situation has not occurred yet, and it looks like it probably would not be occurring for some time. So I started doing more musical stuff, and as I acquired more musical gear, it did not have cases or gig bags to protect it, even though I'm not doing anything mobile at this time, but I still rearrange the gear, so sometimes I need to store it. Anyway, and if you travel with music gear, a lot of times we use what we call flight cases, and these are cases that are designed to be very durable and protective for your music gear while you're on flights. Or even sometimes you're going around town, some people that have very large equipment use the flight cases, but they're very expensive. They cost hundreds of dollars, but they get the job done. So I was thinking, maybe the dimensions of this could fit in here. And come to find out, it actually fits perfectly. So I'll inform you what I did. So I purchased this because you have this version of the Packout case, and then you have this version. This is a slightly more thin, with the plastic is a little lighter. This is thicker. I don't know the model number, but this is probably what I would use if I was doing international or coast to coast type of stuff. But local, this would be great for traveling if you're local in some type of transportation vehicle. But if you're doing flights, I would definitely go with this one because the dimensions are very similar, and these particular foam inserts also fit in here. So anyway, this situation started like this. When I did the purchase, I did the package to where the case came with the foam inserts. That is not a standard, but for that particular sales package, and it comes with two sections of this. That's the thickness, and so that's how it starts. You got the bottom piece and you got this top piece. So for both of these units, that's how it started. Now over to the not so fun part. When it comes to cutting the foam, I have a couple of ways that can be done. I have another tool like this that has a very long rod. I think they might call it a hot knife, and I actually used it to cut this in a previous video. It's a little challenging. The heat is there, and sometimes it's melting the styrofoam so fast that it's hard to get a nice sharp line. So you kind of have to pick and choose when you're going to use something like that. This one I acquired for the more smaller areas. All of this was like a testing for me. It came out okay, but originally to cut the middle section out, I had to take this and do my little pilot hole, and then from there I use the jigsaw, which works actually fantastic. It cuts really clean lines. Let's see. Here's the cut. It's not too bad. So the jigsaw actually works pretty good. The blades, I use one of these blades. Pro and cons. It's good that this comes in a variety pack. What you want to do is always use a blade that hopefully have small teeth on the fastest settings, which will give you the cleanest cut. But with the blades that have like the blades that are for metal that have small teeth, the con is that the distance, the length of the blade will not be thick enough, because once you insert this in the saw, it's only like that much of the blade that's out. So for this particular thickness, it did not work well. But for the second layer, I had to cut and peel back one section. It worked perfect for that. And also what I found out is that the first layer peeled back with no problem, but if you have to go deeper, there's more glue in the middle that makes it start to peel apart. See, it starts to rip apart, so it's not going to have this smooth bottom. So just so you guys can be aware, maybe that's I don't know, less than a half an inch. And this particular section I was able to cut and peel back, so I was just able to use the saw to cut that square, and I was able to peel back this entire section, and it came out smoothly. So I was lucky on that one. So anyway, it started off like this. I did the hole with the drill, used the saw to cut the section out, and so I ended up with this particular section here. This was a little bit more challenging. This is where I utilized this little, sort of looks like a soldering iron device to widen out the hole a little bit, because it becomes a little tricky here when you have the saw in such a small little area and you're trying to hold it and yada yada yada. But anyway, this did work fine with the little temperature control. And once again, it's always challenging because the heat is making it melt away. So if you're one of those ABC people, meaning ADD, HDD, or OCPD, whatever, and you have to have everything super neat, then you might want to do a little research to find out what's the best way to meticulously do these cuts so all your stuff can be perfect and yada yada yada. For me, that's not really my aim in this particular case. I don't mind purchasing things just to try it out and test and blah blah blah. So that's why I do not mind the little red marker line here, because I just wanted to test everything out, and as I know it does what I needed to do, then maybe I'll be a little bit more precise with this one. But anyway, let's see. Did I cover this? Use the saw, yada yada yada. I'm trying to give you guys as much detailed information as I can. I'm glad I had these extra pieces. I didn't use them in this particular project, but once again, it's not as easy as you would think, or it seems, when you have these devices that use heat to cut through the foam, because it will depends on what type of foam it is, and that's going to determine how it melts and how it reacts and responds to the hot knife or the heat gun or whatever you're using. And so that's tricky. It's almost like a trial and error. You can see someone's video and they're cutting it like butter, and you almost have to have the exact situation to get similar results. But I am not a fan of cutting this foam. It's what I needed to do at the time. It's okay. It's not fun, but it does the job well. The device is able to fit in here nicely, and I had to take out that layer because the height was too close to the lid once you close it down. So the device fits in there pretty nice. I have a section here for the little the power cord, so when it's sitting in storage mode, I do like the fact that I can attach both units together, and that is fantastic because they're similar units, and sometimes, or most of the time, if I'm using one, I might use the other one. But either way, the fact that they're snapped together is great. So I'm learning and trying out using these two storage options for musical gear and things of that nature is turning out pretty good. So hopefully you guys have a chance to look at the last video where I have guitar pedals inside of here. So guys, I think I've covered it. If you have some questions, just let me know. But yeah, I use the saw. The saw actually works good for cutting the foam. This is kind of tricky, but it does come with some extra little fittings and adapters. I think I might have this on a previous video, but I just opened it for the first time for this particular project. This is the manufacturer. That is the item number. This was purchased on Amazon, and as usual, I do not remember the price. So I think I covered all this for you guys. So it looks very nice. You know, as you can imagine, this sits right here in this space, and it's down far enough where I can close the top, the lid, and everything fits really snug, really nice. My unprofessional or non-professional edge here actually works good for my finger, so I didn't have to create finger holes, and so it works pretty good. Yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys have questions, let me know. I will catch you guys next time. All right.